Marketing Max. Today we have a returning guest, Mrs. Erin Pierson-Mills of eXp Realty. She's going to talk about the super hot real estate market here in Las Vegas and what she's doing with her business in order to make sure she lands and secures every single deal that comes through the pipeline. So before we get to Erin, though, Ruth, what is happening in real estate?
Well, I am going to hide y'all so everybody can see the, there we go, the stats, and I'll put myself down here. Yes, we have 20 wonderful days of inventory. We listed 201 homes, though, yesterday, which is awesome. 155 of those were single-family homes. And of those, an astounding 63 were 430,000 or under, which is awesome news for everybody because it's been in the 20s and 30s. So now we're getting more of the properties like we predicted in January of 2022. The market was going to start to pick up again with the active listings, which we need because guess what? We closed 148 yesterday and we put 175 under contract. So the churning market continues to roll. I think Tina Turner had a song like that. Roll them, rolling down the river. That's what we're doing. So January so far, we have closed 1,326 sales, and that's 102 a day. Jimmy Degg and I have this side bet going on that he doesn't think that 2022 is going to be as good as 2021, and I think it is. We have to figure out what we're betting on because it's going to get more interesting if we've got some target like that. The investors are still buying homes. They're buying 45 a day, which is awesome because we need those rentals out there for all the people moving here. We don't have the latest figures, but we will have those. I think preview Las Vegas this year is going to be held in the Allegiant Stadium. And for anybody who wants to get an update on the water situation, on the real estate situation, on the economy situation, and on our wonderful industries here, go to that event. It's one of the longest ones they've had. I think it's goes from 8 to 1 this year, which is awesome. And if you just go and Google Preview Las Vegas and sign up for it and go, it's going to be wonderful this year. Once they do that, our website company takes the stats and updates our Las Vegas relocation guide and other things that have been affected by what they have come out with. So I just urge everybody to try to go to that and stay on top of this market because it is ever changing, as you know. So everything is just still cool in Vegas. We are experiencing great weather. And today we have the Raiders game, which we're going to talk about in a minute. But first, I want to tell everybody one of my most interesting things I found in the paper today was that Oscar Goodman, let's see if we can find his picture. So this is Oscar Goodman and Tony Spilatro. So if you know anything about Oscar Goodman, he used to represent the mob here in Vegas. And I was in his office. He was a partner of ours in many real estate deals in Las Vegas. And he was a hoot. And you'd walk in his office and there was more memorabilia in that office than you can even imagine. And I picked up a briefcase one time and I said, oh my God, this is beautiful. And he says, you'll never guess what was in that briefcase. And I can't tell you. So anyway, somebody brought him something in that briefcase. So there he is. So he has a restaurant at the plaza, the top of the plaza. And this is his 10th anniversary of the restaurant opening. And they toasted him, or roasted him, I should say. And Zoe Bowie roasted him there. He was there. And so was the amazing Jonathan. He's a comedian and a musician. And then magician Murray Sawchuck was there. And there you see Zoe Bowie and Sawchuck laughing. So much fun. And there we go. This is going to be displayed at the Oscar Goodman restaurant. And Oscar is a true friend, and his wife, Marilyn Goodman, our current mayor, just wonderful, wonderful people. And they are all about Las Vegas, growing it economically and also safely. So that's the news of the day from Las Vegas. And now we're going to segue over and get Max up here, and we'll bring our folks here. Hang on, let me find them. Where'd they go? There they are. There you are. And there. There you go. There you go. And we're going to talk a little bit about sports, right,
Yeah,
Matt?
exactly right. I mean, for the first time in 6 years, we're back in the playoffs here with the Raiders. Actually, before I go on that, Oscar Goodman, his restaurant, we actually had Thanksgiving dinner there, I think 3 years ago. And I got to say, very good.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I would highly recommend that restaurant. It overlooks downtown, so it has some great views there as well. So if you haven't been there, try to check it out. Very good
Yes.
restaurant. But yeah, back to the Raiders. The last time the Raiders actually made a deep run into the playoffs was the famous AFC Championship game with the Patriots, where Tom Brady fumbled the ball, throwing a pass, and they ruled it a fumble initially, but the review said that the ball was moving forward. So they did not rule it a fumble, and then Adam Vinatieri kicked the field goal to beat the Raiders that year. And then Tom Brady went on to win the Super Bowl his first Super Bowl against the Los Angeles Rams. So that was 20 years ago, if you can believe that. Time has gone by. I actually remember exactly where I was, actually in Newport Beach, California, at a Super Bowl party. And because of that field goal, though, I did win $260 in the football pool. So thank you, Tom Brady Tuck Rule, for that win. Yeah. But yeah, I mean, this is exciting. I mean, the Bengals are pretty good, though. They have their 5th round draft pick this year. The Jamar Chase here, thank you, is having a tremendous year. One of the best years a wide receiver has had in his rookie year. So it's going to be interesting. It's going to be a tough road for the Raiders today. I mean, the Bengals are pretty stacked, both on the running game. They're number 1 pick quarterback 2 years ago, also a very good quarterback. So, I mean, second year making the playoffs, we'll see. So it'll be interesting to see today. And then the Patriots play the Bills afterwards this afternoon. So that would be interesting too. A lot of young quarterbacks. It's nice to see the NFL shifting and changing its stars. We're going through a period right now. I mean, Tom Brady is really kind of the last literally relic of the 2000s and 2010 football era and all the superstars. And so we'll see what the next decade goes. But exciting game today, starts at 1:30 p.m.
And then who's playing tonight? The Bills.
The Bills against the Patriots.
And they play at 5:30. And then tomorrow at 10 o'clock, the Buccaneers play. And I'm anxious to see Tom Brady. And I'm here to tell you, I'm betting on the 49ers.
The 49ers, they're at the Cowboys. Yeah, I mean, that's a tough game too. It'll be interesting. It all depends on which Dak Prescott and which Cowboys show up. Right. So the 49ers have a little bit of a road, but I think they're the underdog. But there's a lot of rumors and a lot of bets moving around towards the Niners here.
When I first had the idea, the odds were 25-1 because I always just bet the money line, and I haven't seen what it is today, which is when I'm going to go place my bet. So I'm sure it's moved up. But anyway, I'm still betting.
And here's another interesting fact too. I believe this is the first year that we're going to have a playoff game on Monday night. It's the Arizona Cardinals versus the Los Angeles Rams. So this I've never seen a Monday night playoff game. So
yeah, that's interesting, isn't it?
That is pretty interesting. So NFL is trying to stretch out their influence to more days of the week and deep into the playoffs. So which it's good.
I like it. Yeah, I like revving it up.
Exactly right. So it'll be a tune in today. It'll be nice.
I'm excited.
Hopefully we'll have the same thing we happened with the Golden Knights, right? They go to the Stanley Cup Finals. We hit to the Super Bowl, and then hopefully win instead of lose the Stanley Cup. So.
We shall see. So
we'll see. So, all right. So let's get on to the real topic that we're all here for, which is, talking with Erin Pierson-Mills here from eXp Realty. We always do this. I know you've been on a few times now, Erin, but just give us a little bit about your background here. And then we'll go from there and we'll talk about what's happening in the real estate market.
And I'm really glad you guys can talk about sports because, boy, I'm the worst with that. The worst.
So am I, other than the playoffs for the NFL
that's
season.
You dial it in.
Exactly right.
All right, good. Well, hi, everybody. Hi again. It's a beautiful Saturday.
Yes,
I'm Erin Pierson-Mills, your Redhead Realtor LV. It's very important to get your branding out there. And absolutely. I was born and raised here in Las Vegas since 1977. I've now entered my fourth year of real estate, but really just 3 because the first year I was with a different brokerage, didn't do anything. And I just made Icon Max. Do you know what an Icon status means with EXP Realty?
No, I do not. Tell
It
me
is
what that means.
very, very exciting and only given to the select few. It's kind of like you prove yourself. And so with your cap and your split, so once I give the company $16,000, then I'm 100% agent. Okay. So however many homes that takes you to do, it can take you 3 high-end homes or maybe 8 average homes. It took me 6. After that point, you sell 20 more houses of any value and you make Icon. So last year I
Fantastic.
sold 37 homes.
There you go. Wow.
Not
And
too
that
bad
was
for
your
year 3. Not too bad for
year
year
3,
3.
right?
Right.
And what
So I must be doing something right.
you're doing absolutely a lot of things right. And what's great about your story here is like literally your first year was 19 or 18,
Yes.
right? 19.
Yes.
And then COVID hit.
Right.
2020.
COVID.
Everybody thought the
COVID.
world was going to come to an end.
Yeah.
And didn't realize the real estate market was going to be the hottest real estate market we've seen in over a decade. But,
Yeah, that only comparable to used cars.
exactly right. So I mean, your journey has been, filled with the ups and downs of this business. And wow, for your third year coming out of the gates, 36 transactions. I mean,
Yeah.
most seasoned veterans
Right.
are wishing they can do 36
Yes.
transactions.
Right. But I gave a big speech at Erin Taylor's event this week, and I told people, me and my husband, we've started about 7 different businesses, and I realized that it takes you about 2 years to see a good turnaround time. So I tried not to beat myself up too much year 2 during COVID. And so I would say like the third year was the banner year. So, squishing that all together with COVID and everything. But you can ask any one of my business partners, my agents, my associates, how many hours a day am I tuned into real estate? How many hours am I on? And they all say 26 hours a day.
Well, I think when you were first on, Erin, a year and a half ago, maybe we had you on to talk about time management.
Yes.
And I know you get up early and you start early, which I think is one of the secret sauces to success.
Yes. Yes. And all my clients, they're very, very trained. I get up at 4 and I go to bed at 9 and I don't answer about after 7 unless it's immediate. So I always get those text messages at midnight or, well, I know you're in bed, but when you get up, don't call me at 4. But they know that I am consistent and persistent and they can rely on me.
Right. So if you look back in the last 3 years here, I mean, if you can think of like 1 or 2 or 3, however you like, that would really contributed to the success you had in the third year, right? Coming out of the first 2 years and going into the third year with 36 transactions. What do you think, those top 3 things are?
Number 1 is social media. Okay. Me and Ruthie can absolutely agree on that. So especially during COVID, when everybody was in the lockdown, all you had was your phone. All you had was your iPad. And so that's where I made the connections, not being able to go socialize or go to Starbucks or anything. So that was my number 1 thing. I've been a Facebook veteran for 17 years. We had our wedding venue on there and I made it the top wedding venue in Las Vegas. And so I already knew how to do it, but then, just learning about the algorithm and tweaking it. So social media. So going into the third year, because I make so many personal connections and relationships and ask questions about people, a lot of people use social media as, here's me. And that's not the way to do it. You have to ask, how are you, sort of a thing. So going into the third year, it's now a very strong referral basis. I love open houses. I can do a whole speech on open houses and turning those buyers into sellers and, all that sort of a good thing. But just being out there and being loved and people know me and you probably even know my 2 dogs' names by this point. They're always featured. And so they want to shop with me because I'm fun. I'm never negative.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. You can't be. If you're in the professional sales business, negativity.
Nobody wants a wah.
Right. Exactly right. No, I mean, you're absolutely right. And Ruth and I talked about this years when we started this show, almost 4 years ago now, Ruth. And when we started, talking about it was like the social media platform at one point will hit a a momentum that's never seen before, especially for the real estate business. And sure enough, 2020, I mean, if you had your social media kind of plan in place and strategy in place, and we're doing it in 18 and 19 and 2020, I mean, you killed it, because people's attention, you had captive attention in 2020 when people had nothing else to do. And, if you were able to, have a strategy and a game plan in place in 2020, I mean, you're coming out 2020 like you did, Erin, 36 transactions. So
definitely. And I mean, I love a good real estate mixer. And so I like to go out there and get my name out there. And so when I've got the people on the other side, a listing agent or a buyer's agent, and I keep on my text messages, I like a good paper trail as much as the phone is awesome. I love a good paper trail, because then when I text a question, I'm like, hey, I didn't get to work with you last time. I'm excited to work with you this time. Oh, I remember you from that mixer. I remember your fun personality. You look awesome to work with.
Well, that's awesome. That's awesome that you have some follow-up too. Just because someone uses a realtor once, what's the stat? Ruth from the National
They
Social
forget their
Realtors?
name in 30 days or 60 days or something.
Like they say something like, what? Go ahead, Ruth. What's the
84% of the people who the buyer's agent sells them a home, that seller never hears of them, and some don't even remember their name, because that agent is not connecting with them.
Right.
So one of my little secret sauces, I wish I had one right here to show you. It's very, very important for everybody to fill out a client information form. And so it asks them all their favorite colors, their hobbies, their favorite beverages, their kids' names, birthdays, anniversaries. It immediately gets registered into my calendar. And so it pops up 3 days before a major anniversary. So I can be sure to send them a birthday card, deliver them pizza. And so the client information form is how you're going to avatar yourself with your clients, because you can't forget those special moments. And I tell them, I'm not just your agent. I want to be your best friend. And I want to celebrate all of life's greatness with you. Right.
And people, I think, don't put, I mean, the professionals do, but real estate agents should pay attention to life events, right? Because life events cause change. And one of those changes is either moving or upgrading your house, or downgrading a house, or selling a house. And so,
oh my gosh, you're
capturing
pregnant?
all the information. Right. Exactly. Right.
Bigger house.
Right.
Well, there's this magical button on Facebook that says birthdays, and it actually shows you birthdays for like ever. So you know whose birthday it's going to be next month, next week. So if you don't have them in your system already, if they're not like a client, but you want them to be a client, celebrate their birthday.
Yeah, that's really good. So, Erin, what's happening right now? I mean, you obviously 2020 was a great year. What are you seeing in the market that, any trends that you're spotting here in the Las Vegas real estate market here going in the first part of the year?
I can't keep a listing for longer than a week. I can't, you know what I'm saying? I have to be very, very careful and make sure that all my ducks are in a row, because, previously it used to be coming soon. You can't do that anymore, because I can't even, get it clean, get it staged. So the strategy has changed a little bit. You used to be able to do those coming soons. I really don't do that anymore, unless they want to list on a Monday and I want to peak the interest till Friday, and I don't let anybody in until then. So you have to strike quick and smart these days. So so when I've got my buyers happening right now, even I'm at a $1.5-2 million price point on one particular client, and they have multiple offers, which is amazing, which is great. I love that for everybody.
Yeah, so how are the sellers approaching, like when you're going on these listing agent or appointments now, right? I mean, what is the mindset of sellers for the most part? Everybody knows this is a hot market, right? Right. So, I mean, what are you doing to make sure that they go in and price their homes correctly, so that, they do sell quickly?
Yes. So everybody expects the multiple offers, and everybody expects all of this. And so setting the expectations right from the beginning. I know Ruth wanted me to touch on this one particular point with listing homes, is that you were asking me, how do you get them if you just have one offer, to accept the offer and not wait for the unicorn that might be trotting up with, Lucky Charms behind you. If you get a very solid offer, you have to let them know, okay, let's go through this. Let's take this. Now, in pricing the houses, you really have to explain to them apples to apples. And so I ran into something where it was severely overpriced. I was the buyer, and it was I was very, very smart, and we didn't offer anything over the appraisal. And when the appraisal came in $250,000 less than what they've listed it for, the seller was mad. It wasn't my seller. I was the buyer. I did everything smart. And his listing agent did not set his expectations that if you don't secure any dollar amount over your listing price, the appraisal is what the appraisal is. It's what the house is worth. And it was over upgraded. This is a new term, because I'm sorry that you put in, $50,000 Carrera marble in your bathroom, but $10,000 granite is going to be the same. Do you know what I'm saying? To an appraiser. So just setting their expectations and letting them know. But if you do get the multiple offers as a listing agent, you better secure those verified funds over the appraisal to make sure it's there and make sure everybody's expectations are the same.
Right. On the buyer side, I mean, I know with the multiple offers, Ruth was talking about this earlier right now, is that you cannot have delays in your mortgage or your lending process, right? I mean, that's because
they've kept all those other offers as backups.
Right.
And if you
if
you fail, if you look weak, you're dead, you're gone.
Right. So what are you doing on the buyer side to make sure that you have everything, secured and no delays in closing?
You have to make your lender your best friend. You have to make them do the work, because most of those lenders are trained not to do the work until you're in contract. So you better make sure that they've done the work. They pulled the papers, they pulled their credit, they've got the bank statements, and all they're waiting for is the appraisal. Okay. So building in those loan contingencies in there is not a great idea right now. Okay. Because if your lender does, need something, have a question, if something altered or shifted, you don't want to put any extensions on that. And so you want to go in there and let them know we're fully qualified. I know everybody says we're fully qualified. No, we're fully qualified. The only thing we're literally waiting for is the appraiser. Okay. So I'm not going to put this loan contingency in there, but this is why. Okay. And so did I answer your question? Did I go off track?
You did. No. I just wanted to add something else to that, Erin. What just happened in our office, being a broker, we hear all the stories and have to offer as much help as we can. And so somebody came in and the house appraised. However, the lender wanted some documentation from the seller just to cover their tracks that the upgrades were actually the price that the seller said. Well, the buyer had like 3 days until the contract was over, and the seller wouldn't do it. Now, you would think that that's just on the seller, but it isn't. The seller had an offer more than this offer and didn't sign any extension, and the gal lost the deal. And I said, there is no recourse. Did
she get her earnest money back?
No, she had released it to the seller.
Oh, that's right.
Yes, remember? Yeah. $8,000. Yeah.
If you release it.
Yeah, you're toast. Yeah. Well, she don't make that mistake again. But it was such a slam dunk deal because it appraised. But then at the last minute,
why would the lender do that?
Why would the lender do that?
That doesn't make any sense at all, to force the seller to verify.
And in the past, what we've done, John has done, is just switch lenders. You can do that, switch in the middle of the deal. But it was too late. It was too late.
3 days, right?
At that point.
That's why I caution everybody, stop making that loan contingency within days of the closing date, because you never know.
Right. Wow. That's an interesting. I mean, that's an interesting. Yes. I've never heard where the lender is asking to verify the.
Who is the lender company? Are you allowed to say? Is that wrong?
No. I actually, I don't remember, but I don't think it would be cool to say it anyway. But you really need to not go down to the last minute in anything, just like in a football game, right?
Yeah.
I mean, you just never know what's going to happen if you don't have time.
And go ahead.
Let's backtrack a little bit, because I think your exact question is how you can get your buyer's offer accepted in a multiple offer situation. So we can just kind of drill down on like the basic points, just so everybody can remember. Use their title company. If it's not on there, you always want to call and be like, hey, who's your title company? I want to make this super, super easy. And I even tell them, I will be there at the appraisal, and I'm going to bake cookies and turn on the lights. And what we had an appraiser come to our convention. Yes. And I mean, I'm good, but he gave me so much information because he's an actual appraiser. Have you sat with an appraiser and what they're going through these days and what he wants. And he said, buyer's agents, you can show up. He actually didn't want me to bake cookies, but I do it anyway. He doesn't, you know what I'm saying? Get out. Never let your seller stay there. Never let the seller stay there because they'll accidentally spill the beans, And he said, hand me the comps. Hand me the comps.
Yes.
Okay, so if you want this to appraise,
Yep.
hand me the comps. Show me the information that you have. Hand me the packet and leave.
And don't wait. If you're not there, you need to get him the comps right away before he goes into that house, not afterwards when he's already,
Because he said, I don't know this neighborhood. You listed the house or you're buying the house, the neighborhood, the schools, you know what the inside of that house looks like. I don't. They really don't. You know what I'm saying? Until after the fact. So us handing it to them makes their job a little bit easier, and just to prove the point about why we want it to be at this price point, buyers or sellers.
That's a good tip. I don't know a lot of people that do that.
Right?
On a real estate
agent.
Oh yeah,
I love a good appraiser day. I go in there to make sure, especially if I'm on the buyer and we've got the money over the appraise. I want it to appraise, so their money is less out of their pocket. But you just make sure that that you match their earnest money. I've got my little notes over here. I like to call the agent and be like, what does the seller need? Does the seller need a lease back? Does the seller need a quick close? Right. Is it vacant? What can I shorten for you? What's going to make your life easier? And they love it. They're like, oh my gosh. I said, don't even worry about it. I'm going to take care of everything.
Yes. Community over competition.
Yeah, absolutely. Now, my comment was actually going back to, I don't know why the lending world is slow to adapt to changes. Right. I mean, they still have this archaic kind of process where no one wants to do any work until they're 100% sure that the loan is going to close. I'm like, that's just such short-term thinking.
Yeah. So backwards.
It's so backwards, right? I mean, you want to qualify and foolproof every person on the planet, right? And because if they have an approval from you, guess who they're going to use when they're ready to buy eventually? You.
Yeah.
But for whatever reason, they, stories like that. I mean, that's part of the reason why I left the lending world, because there's just so many things that like an underwriter at the very last minute could plop onto you. And that's why it's so important. You got to work with, professional mortgage agents that know like all the possible hiccups that can go and have, contingency plans built in place so that, the loan closes on time every time. And so,
yeah.
And one of the very important things that a buyer's agent needs to do and tell the buyer, let's find a lender who has appraisals that can happen quickly. If the due diligence is in 10 days, let's have the appraisal on the 11th day. Not because as soon as you put that loan contingency date, next to the close date, they think they have that much time. Mm-hmm. And you need to make it more of a sense of urgency. You want this loan? Then we got to get the appraisal, by the 15th day. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Right. And I think that's a good point, Ruth, is like you as a real estate agent need to know the lending process as well, right? So, and understand all that and set the expectations for these mortgage agents that you work with. Like, this is what we expect. I know this is your process. Can it be done in this amount of time? Mm-hmm. And you got to hold these lenders and these agents to it.
Yeah. When buyers come with me and they're like, oh, I got a loan from so-and-so bank. And I was like, no, I'm not going to work with you. Like, well, I'm so busy that I'm allowed to say that these days. Yeah. But then I explained why. I said, I need somebody that I can call at 2 a.m. And if I call them, they will answer because they know I have a burning question or some emergency. Mm-hmm. I'm like, I can't deal with banker's hours. I need to, be able to touch these people and shake these people.
Right. And you got to tell them, you got to have these, stories in your back pocket, right? Here's the reason why.
Yes.
Right. You want to lose $8,000 at the, 11th hour right before you close after you've, told your entire family that you're going to be buying this house. Right. On top of losing the house, and you just lost $8,000. This is the reason why you need to use my lender, this lender. Right. Mm-hmm. So, I mean, as a professional now, this is the reason why I don't think, the real estate businesses will ever go automated towards like a faceless, system, because there's so many moving parts to this. and a real professional will always be needed in this industry.
I am very, very honest. And that's my number one thing is honesty and clarity. And so we're shopping today and tomorrow with super, super high end. Okay. And I was like, you know what? I'm excited because Ivan Sure has listed that one. Aaron Taylor has listed that one. I'm going to be perfectly honest. I really don't want to show you that one because it's open door and I can't, there's no single agent that I can work with from beginning to end. So balls will be dropped on that one. Mm-hmm. And if they don't love the home, because we're looking at several, they're like, okay, Erin, we don't want to see it.
Right.
Good.
So I just have to be very, very honest. I mean, I'll open the door. I will definitely go and show them that house. I'm not saying I'm not going there. You know what I'm saying? But just the honesty and clarity. And so, yeah. And you know what? I'm kind of honest with them too. So if you kind of see that 1%er, if you're like, if the world is that's a whole different show. That's a whole different show. You have to tell your buyers your value because eventually we're going to be stuck having to get the commission from the buyers. So, that this little Victorian era will come to a close at a certain amount of time. But when we're talking like, $2 million houses, and I was like, look, I'm only going to be getting 1%. So this one particular client, I've already promised them a little bit of commission back. And so I was like, I can't offer you that anymore. So, I mean, just to let you know, oh, we don't want to see that one. We want you to give us, the money that you promised.
Mm-hmm.
But
yeah,
that's personal deal.
Right. And the key is you got to earn that, right? With your professionalism, with your knowledge, right? If you present yourself in a way where clients know you're just the absolute professional, you're an expert in the industry, and you know your stuff and you're going to take care of them and the deals are going to close. People are willing to pay, right? I mean, people are only unwilling to pay when they don't see value.
Yeah.
So everybody has their New Year's resolutions, their goals, their plans, whatever you want to call it. And so I told Ruth, and I laugh at myself all the time. I'm like, Ruth, I'm going to take 2 solid months off. I worked myself to death. I got I got all my $16,000 coming back in stock. I'm invited to walk the stage in Florida. You know what I'm saying? I'm going to take a couple months off. Never been busier. That's all you got to do is say, I'm going to take a day off.
Right.
So, but anyway, but part of my goals and my plans and all these systems and things that I want to put into place and kind of polish, because I was like a freaking racehorse last year. And I was like, you know what? So it's on my list of things to do next week. I'm making a resume to hand to my buyers and kind of like to prove the point. You know what I'm saying? Because they're like, why should I hire you? Okay, well, last year I did over $15 million. I sold 37 houses. None of them fell out of contract. You know what I'm saying? You make a resume. And here's what I do on a daily basis. Here's what I do through the 30 days. You see what I'm saying? So they need to know that I just don't, open a door and get $14,000 or $30,000. I don't sleep, but they already know that if they follow me on social media with the referral basis. And so I've proved my point. But for anybody out there, and if you're just starting out, you don't have to tell them, oh, I only sold 2 houses last year. You don't have to say that. Or you can and say, but it was so smooth and I held their hand the entire way. So anyway, if anybody wants a resume class, let's do it.
Yeah, let's do it. I don't think the numbers of homes matter as much as the quality.
Some people, it depends on their personality.
Yeah,
sure.
It does.
There's going to be a certain percent. They say the rule of 33%, right? I mean, 33% will matter. 33% really don't care, or on the fence about it. It's great that you have it, and then 33% don't care whatsoever. They're going to make a judgment right in front of them. And so, I mean, I think for the new agents that don't have a lot of transactions, I mean, you got to come in with a plan, right? Like Erin said, like if you lay out, here's, on the day, if you spell out in the listing appointment exactly like the timeline and the expectations and every step and sequence over the next, 30, 45 days in which they're going to engage with you. I mean, that I can tell you hardly anybody does that in any business. Yeah. And that's the reason why the successful, professionals in every industry always dominate, right? Well, because they have this in place in order.
You clicked something for me. So let's talk about the listings. Okay. So kind of like how I open a door and I just get $30,000 check. Okay. So the listing people, they're like, well, why should I pay you 6% if all the houses are going to sell in 24 hours?
Mm-hmm.
That's
a good question. You got to be ready. So what's your answer?
You better be ready for that one. Well, I've already given them my resume. I've already given them my value. And so I have a couple friend agents that, they'll do a listing appointment over the phone. What's your commission? No. So, and I tell them, I said, nope, I have to come in and I have to prove my value to you. So my listing presentation can take, 20 minutes. It can take 2 hours, because we go back and we drill down on why I take professional photography, drone, do this, why I spend the money. I could probably do a camera picture and your house will sell. But if I sell it and I promote it and I do the open houses and we have a line of people around the corner, there's your 6%. You're not even paying me. Somebody else is paying me because I'm getting you more money over your offer.
Right. Yeah, you got to be able to prove your value, and you got to be ready for that question in this market if you're a listing agent, right? And exactly right. I mean, they're gonna why would I need you if the house is going to sell in 2 days?
I hate those lazy agents that don't even put up a sign, that don't even do a lockbox. I'm like, you've got to be kidding me. I'm like, all your neighbors need to know. You need to create the buzz. Like, there's a reason for the season.
So, Erin, here's something that I think people don't think about. Let's say it's a $500,000 listing, okay? And the seller says, well, I only want to pay you 5%. What you say is, okay, we'll list the house for $500,000 and $5,000. I'll get you that $5,000.
That's what I'm telling him. You're not even paying me the 6%. Exactly. The buyers truly are paying me the 6%.
A percentage are deceiving. You have to, I think, break it. My point is that I think you have to break it down to the actual number. Okay, fine.
Yes.
I can sell this house for $505,000 and I'll pay my own commission because I can get it for you because I have negotiating skills. And that's one of the things that are a value that I'm giving you.
There you go.
Yeah. And I've added so many different layers to my service. And so I just went to World Market yesterday. And so I'm making the contacts with those furniture people. Hey, can I borrow a bunch of your furniture and stage it? And then I'll sell it while it's there too. So now I'm adding, you have to add the staging, the lighting, the scent of the home. People don't, they just, open the door. No.
The neurolinguistic programming. Yes. Yeah. All the modalities. How some people are visual, some people are auditory, some people are, they smell things. I forget what you call those people, but
sensory.
Sensory. Thank you. Yeah. So, you have to appeal to the variety. And when you tell the seller that you're going to do that, they're like, wow, nobody ever said that NLP to me before. So, you teach them something as well.
Oh yeah. I'll tell them the story. I said, you know what? I've never even cleaned my own house. And I will get on my 2 knees and clean your toilet for you.
Okay.
I've done it. Oh man, I've done it.
No, I mean, this is, you got to be creative in this environment right now, right? And creative and a true professional. And you got to be knowledgeable in every aspect of that real estate transaction.
Yeah. And if you can, you do need to stalk your clients because you need to know their animal personalities and what they're going to touch on, because I'm kind of because it's a bull, tiger, owl, lamb, whatever. And so you're going to have those soft green personalities that they're going to ask you the same question 14 different ways and want a different answer. It's still going to be the same answer, but you need to know their personalities, because if you're dealing with, a really high end, kind of a bull figure, like he just wants to know numbers and yes, get out. So you have to be ready to show the softer side and, talk about their grandkids, or be ready to go with all your facts and figures and knowledge. Here you go. Let's do this.
Yeah. You need to really scope out your seller before and that's a phone call. You can ask, there's certain questions, and we teach this in some of our CE classes. There's certain questions that you ask the seller to determine what the personality type is. Yeah. And then when you go to the presentation, you're not doing an entertainment presentation to an analytic.
Yeah, to an engineer.
Yeah.
Who wants just to see the bottom line numbers.
Right.
Well, it's called social media. Stalk these people. Google them. Get their personalities.
And there's questions, because the conversation helps too.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I mean, you can disseminate. You can actually hear from the tone of the person's voice and how they answer the phone, whether or not they're a certain personality or not. So I mean, those are the skills that you need to continue to build and master if you're ever going to be an elite, professional in any industry, especially in the sales business. In real estate, it's definitely pretty much 100% communication and sales and influence. Yes. So
communication is a big deal, and that's also on the client info form. How do you like to be communicated with? Not how I like to communicate with you. Are you text, email, phone call? What do you prefer? What times do you prefer? When are you angry? Are you a morning person? Are you a night person? I don't like to give any sort of news like late at night because I wouldn't sleep. Do you know what I'm saying?
Correct.
So even if something bad happens, and they should know, but it's in a reasonable amount of time. And so that could be an 8 a.m. phone call, not an 8 p.m. phone call.
Right.
Exactly right. Because then they can work out their frustrations.
Yeah, demons come out at night. Demons come out. So that's
Exactly
why it's called a
right.
work day.
Right. And it anchors it in. Anything that, they say the last hour of your day and the first hour of your day are like the subconscious programming hours.
That's where I watch Disney movies so I can sleep happy.
Oh, well, that's great. So any other, tips that you can think of right now going into this year that you're implementing yourself to maybe continue the momentum here?
How about we make real estate fun again? Okay, have fun. You have to have fun. I mean, everybody just enjoys and looks forward to meeting with me because they're like, what is she going to do today? And that's another thing. Don't take yourself too seriously. Yeah, I might be all polished with my Chanel and all fancy, but you know what? If you stumble, if you trip, if you snort, it's okay. It's okay.
Yeah, it makes you human for sure.
Yeah.
And
you have to wake up excited for the day. So if you have kind of a hard day or you've got, I have to go show 1,000 condos. Condos are hard for me, but I have bad feet. You have to find the condo. But you have to, if you have a hard day, build in some fun. Take yourself to that fancy little Cafe Lola or you know what I'm saying? Build in the fun of the day.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's very true. Yeah.
And if you have an assistant, you can tell them to go find the condo first before you.
Well, I would tell everybody you got to spend money to make money. And so I have 3 assistants and a TC. Oh my gosh, $500 for your transaction coordinator. And I said, yeah, but it's off my commission. I don't even see it. And if I have 2 minutes, I'll say one little thing to go along with that.
Yes, sure.
I like Ruth, I Zoom every single morning for any agents, community over competition, especially after I'm getting well known and walking stages and conventions. And so I tell people, I was like, listen, if you're going to go out, so I'm going to go out and see 5 homes tomorrow. Okay. I've already emailed my transaction coordinator. She has all the MLS numbers. She has the order. She's prepared and ready to go. So when we go to the house number 1, hey, we like this one. Get ready to make an offer. Okay. Let's do I've got an iPad. We're doing the comps. Here's what I want to offer on this one. Okay. House number 2. So as you're going through, she's already done all the work for the day. So when I get home, I'm tired and I can make dinner for my family and I don't have to go, oh my gosh, guys, I've got to go into my office. Hang on. I've got 17 offers to write and all the work to be done. No, it's already done for me. Okay. So I tell everybody, I was like, I am not the person to come to if you want to ask questions on how to write a contract or do anything like that. Pay somebody to do that. I mean, have the knowledge, but pay somebody to do it. You should know your contracts, right? Inside out, upside down. And even you and me will sit there and drill down on one sentence and pick it apart to make sure we understand it.
Yes. Well, you and I've done that.
Mm-hmm.
In front of the seller, the angry seller.
And if you can't afford an assistant, I started by paying mine portions of my commission, a small portion of the commission.
Well, so you have to give incentive.
Yeah, the more we sold, so the more boots on the ground, the more money you're going to make. So one of my assistants made $8,000 in 1 month last year.
Wow.
Yeah, and I don't pay by the hour. You can start there. So get some interns. Right. Walk into Key Realty. Hey, I'm pretty badass. You can intern for me. You can learn how to actually do real estate because the schooling doesn't teach you how to do real estate.
No.
That's why how many fail? How many fail? 80 something percent?
Oh, 80%. In 5 years, it's a turnover every 5 years. Yeah, of 80%. That's amazing.
Yeah, and if you're a new real estate agent right now, I mean, one of my mentors says that proximity is key to success, right? So what he means is you want to be in proximity of successful people, right? So even like Erin said in the early part of the show, like, the first 2 years of your real estate business, unless you're just like an absolute like superstar with a database of, 10,000 people, that you can tap into. But if you're brand new and this is a brand new industry, get into proximity with successful real estate agents and do what Erin said, like intern with these people or become, join their team, right? Yeah. And help them write contracts, help them do all that stuff. Because if they're doing transactions, they would cut your learning curve on how you would learn, because you're not going to do as many transactions as these most successful real estate agents, but you see the transactions. If you help them with the transactions, you help them with the contracts, you accelerate your learning. You can possibly cut this 2-year ramp up time into like 12 months, maybe 6 months.
That's what I tell everybody. I said, if you just listen and learn with me, I'm going to try to take that 2 years and crunch it down into maybe like 3 months. Let's skip all the stuff that didn't work for me. Stop buying the shiny objects. Don't do that. Don't do that. Get in bed with a great title rep. Use your people. Have a lender at your open house, because he can get him a loan right there and you can double lend it. I mean, there's so much. I can tell you all my trip up mistakes. Why not listen to me? And I stood in front of 150 agents on Wednesday, and I told them, I always want to be the dumbest person in the room and the poorest person in the room. Elevate yourself. Absolutely. Right. I think Erin Taylor wanted to kill me. I was like, I'm following you around for 48 hours just to let you know I won't say anything, but I'll carry up. And I did. And I just sat there and he was like,
hey, you can't soar like an eagle when you're walking around with turkeys. It doesn't work.
Right.
Yeah, it doesn't work.
You're right.
Cut it off.
Yeah.
Because you said your mentor told you the same thing. So it was 2020, the beginning. COVID hadn't hit yet. And he goes, if you want to make this your best year, because I'm really, really social, he knows that. He said, stop calling or texting everybody except your kids and your husband, everybody, for 2 weeks. And the people that reach out in the 2 weeks are your true friends. Boy, my phone was silent. And that's okay. That's okay. Like Erin Taylor says, you want to get those no's, because then you know who to spend your time with and who not to waste your money in marketing on. Relish the no's. You'll become a better person.
Yeah. He started
take back some of your time.
Yeah. Erin Taylor started with one. And look what he's done. Now he's doing a deal every day but Sundays. And that's the stats.
Yeah.
That's the truth.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So definitely. And you know what? If you're not happy with your brokerage, move brokerages. If you have no allegiance. I had a young woman come to me and she was like, oh, I'm with this other brokerage, but we're really good friends. You know what I'm saying? And I was like, well, but it's your business, and don't feel bad if you want to leave or change title companies or get a different lender. I've had people cry and beg and no, we want your business. And I was like, that's exactly right. It's my business. I'm going to run it exactly how I want to. We can remain friends, but I'm moving my business over here, because at the end of the day, it goes into my hip national and my kids' future.
Yeah, you got to work with people that want to work with you. And I had an agent resign this past week. And I said, I think this is fabulous. And she says, but I thought you'd be upset with me. I said, no, I want you to succeed. If this isn't your jam, go find your jam. I'm fine with it. Just go find it. And so
go be happy.
Exactly. My dog.
You never know. Down the road, there could be on the other end of the transaction.
Yeah.
So,
I know.
And if you treat them exactly, there's no reason to burn bridges, especially in real estate.
Right.
But I am with the best brokerage over at eXp Realty.
Right. So,
that's what you want. That's what everybody needs to believe, that they're with the best, the people that you can relate to and connect with and go to when you need answers to questions that you may not have. Yeah. With me and John, we've been around since '87, and every day in real estate, you wake up unemployed and it's a new job. It just is. So
got to wake up scared. One of my favorite people is Ryan Serhant, $1 Million Listing.
Yeah.
Love his books. My emotional support fish is named Ryan Serhant. But he said, he's a millionaire, billionaire, whatever. And he said, every day I wake up scared. Every day I wake up panicked. Every day. I tell agents, if you're going to lose your house in 30 days, if they were going to come and take your home, could you go list 4 homes this month?
Yeah, right.
Put yourself to the fire. Do it. Wake up like you only have the change in your purse. Do we have change in our purses anymore? No.
I don't have a purse, but my wife does. I hand all my change to my wife, so she does have a change purse.
There's a coin shortage.
Yeah, John puts his change in an oatmeal can.
All right, Erin. Well, appreciate you coming on again, sharing all your wisdom, and congratulations again on 2021.
Thanks.
And looking forward to seeing what you do this year with all the brand new knowledge that you gained, and with the still super hot real estate market. So. Appreciate you coming on, Erin.
I'm kind of like Ruth. I found my why. I found my why this year. I said, I hate that question. Well, it's money, duh. But once you have enough money, you actually find your why. And so my why is just teaching agents how to do what I did in 2 years, and let's crush it down into a comfortable, reasonable amount of time for you. 2 months, 6 months. So my why is just giving the knowledge. So I'm Ruth's little minion. I want to grow up to be like Ruth.
Well, good.
well.
Good. Well, Erin, thank you again.
Very
Ruth,
welcome.
what is happening in Las Vegas?
Well, let's see.
Training.
Training. I just lost my, of course, I lost my thing. So on Monday, we're having a class, and it's the Attorney General is on line 1. It's from 2 to 5, and it will help agents stay out of problems. And Jimmy Dagg wrote this class, brand new. I assisted. I'm his sidekick. And it's a great class to learn how to deal in today's market. Our classes are relevant. You get the CE credits, and everybody needs law. And law can be so boring, but our class is not boring. We don't read you the laws. We tell you how you practice real estate and stay compliant within the laws. So that's a big difference. And you go to bee.vegas to sign up. My sign up thing went away this morning when we changed platforms. But anyway, so I just want to give a shout out to everybody to take that class, because it is really, really awesome. And also I want to thank everybody, for joining this show. And every day we report on the Las Vegas market stats. And then I give some type of training to real estate agents, whether it's social media, whether it's continuing education oriented, or whether it's YouTube, how to do videos. My whole year this year is teaching people and convincing people they have to do video if they're going to stay in real estate. You just have to. And Erin, you're very good at it. Please invite people to join our group, and please, give us a love or a like. And if you go on my YouTube channel, subscribe to it, please. My goal this year is to grow that. I haven't even tried yet, but I'm like Erin. I took a little time off from YouTube to do other things, but I'm going to crush YouTube this year. That's my goal. And I'm saying it in public, so you can come back.
Fantastic.
Yeah. So thank you so much, Erin, and thank you, Max, for always being here for me. We're entering this year with just so much positivity. I'm so excited, and thank you, everybody. I love everybody, and be happy.
Yeah. Have a great weekend, everybody.